I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 2. Last episode, we were reintroduced to a world with motorcycles. But then, that wasn't what we were watching. No.
That was too far in the future.
Too far in the future.
We got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, but now, we are back where we are supposed to be. Kind of. We are following a new character named Einar. And last episode, we got to watch his family get killed. Now he's on a farm.
Now he's on a farm. Who else is on that farm, Ben?
I'm sure some trees, maybe some livestock. I'm sure, you know, an owner at least.
Oh, yeah. There was that. We met him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No one else.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Aww.
どうも。仕事について説明しよう。エイナル、ここが何に見える？森ですか？うん、違うわな。未来の小麦
So
畑。
we're expanding.
この森はわしの所有物だ。これをお前たち二人に買い込む。運用し収穫を上げろ。わしが正しい値段で買い込む。
Wow!
金額がお前たちの値段を上回ったら。
Buy yourselves back.
That definitely implies what Thorfinn is, right?
What? He thought he completely lost his chance at freedom. So he does this. He's not much for talking, it's okay.
Ah. 俺北イングランドの生まれなんだ。
アイスランド。
アイスランドってどこ？何切ってるじゃないか。あとどれくらいなんだ？
こっち側全部だ。
こっち側？
その川からこっち側全部だ。
川からこっち側。
He said if you work really hard 3 years.
It's almost like an impossible task.
But we've met someone who was able to free themselves through similar means.
I'm surprised it's taking so many whacks, Thorfinn. Well.
Soれならもう少し離れた木をやってくれ。川と直角に倒れるように切るんだ。
川に流して運ぶんだな。
There's a system to it. Then you
I
cut
love
off all
this.
the limbs. Hunting?
あるよ。そろそろ奉公人が持ってくる。
Oh.
本当かよ。尽くせりだな。お、飯だ。
I'm scared. You look so bright-eyed. They ate it on the way in?
これはだから弁当こんだけなんだ文句あんのかおいこれ2人分かよなあお前奴隷勤めは初めてかなら覚えとけよ食えるだけマシなお前ら弁当を届けてやったんだ
Did they all free themselves already?
ありがとうございますってよ。 てめえ
Okay,
あり
Thorfinn.
がとうございます。
ドルフィンそいつに礼儀を教えとけよあと馬
I kind of like seeing Thorfinn like this.
I'm so perplexed by it.
サボりに来たんじゃねえかお前もさヘコヘコすんじゃねえよ
Whew.
俺は前で引く。川岸まで運んだらイカダにする。
少し来た方がいいんじゃないかそんな年寄り馬一頭じゃ無理
Haha.
勝手に短くはできない。
これあいつらの仕事じゃないのか俺に馬を扱わせたりしないだろこんなしけた馬一頭きりで
いいから行くぞ。
Come on, Thorfinn.
Oh, stuck on a root.
エイナル、前を持ち上げてくれ。
Lift.
Come on, Einar. You got this.
行くぞ。
Hell yeah.
I feel like you'd get real strong. This is like a workout.
Thorfinn knows how to follow orders from Askeladd, huh?
あいつら絶対許せねえ俺の昼飯食いやがってないから旦那の使用人やるしかねえ連中だろ半分奴隷みたいなもんじゃねえかで自分たちより下がいるってことを確かめてるんだぜあトルフィンお前もそう思うだろ
どうでもいいよ、そんなこと。
どうでもいいことあるかよ俺たちは旦那の財産なんだぞ奉公人なんかがいいわけがねえ旦那に言いつけてやる
嫌がらせがひどくなるだけだ。
Probably true.
お前なそんなんでいいのかよ
エイナル、トルフィン。
旦那様
まだエイナル。一日過ごしてみた感想は。
報告が
やめろ。
黙ってろ報告があります今日こちらの方向に
Is that like his daughter or something?
This is a romance now, Anna.
It's a romance! Woo!
どうしたエイナル、報告とやる。
That your
But
daughter
it was a
is
good
cute.
day.
昔のやつだ
I did good work
何もない
today.
ならわしは行くぞ。
エイナル。報告はいいのか。
Yeah!
せえ
This is such a different show.
Mm-hmm.
ありがとうな。
どういたしまして。
うん。
It's like he's making his own little village, like his own prosperous village, in a weird way.
片付けよう。
大金持ちは働かないもんだと思ってたよ働いている姿はデン人もイングランド人も変わりないのにな
ああ、こら違う違う。何度も言わせるな、オールマル。
言われた通りやってんじゃねえか。
馬を使え。それと、もっと膝下ぐらいの高さで。
カレリアいいんだろ、カレリアよ。
な、麦の綿は放牧だ。切り株を長めに残しておく。食わせるためなんだぞ。だいたいお前は17にもなって、まだ一つの作業の意味が理解できんのだ。
Like a son?
Maybe.
Son?
わかってんよ。段取り完璧っすよ。
話を謙虚に聞かんか。人の上に
You're going to lead others.
はいはい、膝下ね。借りましたよ。
うわー、振り方は麦の方が壊れるだろう。
なんだあれガンガンに怒られてん
女の子のオルマル。
Master son.
ああ親子
ああ、やってらんねえ。たまにおとなしく手伝ってやりゃ細けえやめた。やろうと思ってたけどやめた。
This is definitely a father son.
どこへ行くオールマル。
ここだよ、クソ親父。
お前
Damn.
はじきにこの農場を継ぐんだぞ。自覚を持て。
俺がいつ継がせてくれって頼むがちまちまちまちまちまちまちまちま。俺はこいつで。
he wears it and he can't even take it out. He doesn't even. This is so embarrassing for him.
何やってるの？
何かな。
He's itching his back. And the horse just goes back to grazing.
He's gonna go home and practice for like hours.
Similar to when like Einar was like, I'm
Look.
gonna be a warrior and then gets hit in the head.
こんなど田舎で一生終わってたまるかよ。童貞殿下の軍団に加わって
I'm gonna join Prince Canute's army.
あげてやるぜ。
I'm so happy he missed. You gotta do it slow.
若様、近いうちっていつ？
近いうちは近いうちだ。援軍の船を召集するはずだ。
Wonder what Harold and Canute's situation is.
Yeah.
ああ？お前まで。お前。
私心配で。だって
ああ。
来て。もう一回。
よしよし、いいぞ若娘、その調子だ。
よし、若様にお食事も。
Oh my god.
戦目に入るとこだ。
They're trying to like get their daughter married to the son of the owner of the land. What parents, goodness.
Our family's future will be secure.
このまま若様が通い。そうでも。
うるせえボケ。俺らの魂胆は分かってんだよ。貧乏小作人ども、大さんが目当てなんだろうが。 なりゃ贅沢できるってか。
Ketils.
女ってやつはどいつもこいつも。ああ、若様、待って。ちくしょう。親父のおまけじゃねえ。なあ、くそ。居心地悪いぜ。
He doesn't want to be used. And...
お、若様だ。若様。何してんすか。夜がけは危ないっすよ。そう、何やってんだ。 今そうほらしっかり歩けよってかの女のとこ行ったら奉公人どもに先越されててさおい麦が
He cares about the wheat.
Yeah, and they just walked through it.
兄貴に怒られちゃうからさいやてらねえ若はいいよなこの農場てめえらに俺の気持ちが分かってたまるかいあ怒った怒っちゃやー黙ってるほど暇じゃねえんだ俺はとっとと砦に帰って寝ちままあそうカリカリしないのも
Uh-oh.
若いんだから冷たい馬の口取るんじゃねえよいいから飲み直そうねやかそう若様セッションの悩み気候じゃないの酒の魚にしよってんだろふざけんな帰るぞ俺は話せ
Doesn't seem like they're letting you go home.
I'm so intrigued.
The energy is really, I can't even place it. I can't even predict.
Wow, reminds me of Askeladd.
He probably thinks warrior. He's talking about himself.
イングランド王の軍勢に村中の家を焼かれたけど殺され
The
ちま
King
っ
of England first.
たただ見てるしかなかった次に来たのがデーン人の軍勢だ手から救ってやるとか抜かして役立つの限りを尽くして生きやがったあいつらは
Jeez.
かぶったけだものだトロフィー眠ったのか
Wow. Whew.
Okay, that was Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 2. We really did pivot hard, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I am really enjoying it. I wonder how many episodes are in the season, for one. And number two, it feels like a nice, slow cook, you know?
No, definitely. I think that it needs to be when it comes to a character like Thorfinn, where we've changed kind of what he's like on screen in terms of like his demeanor from the first season and from what we are used to with him. I think that character deserves some time to cook, as you said, and for relationships with that character, and for the viewer to learn more of what Thorfinn's currently like through other people, through Einar's character.
So I always fall back to this because it's one of the only things that I feel like I'm a little bit confident enough to make a comparison to. Dragon Ball, right? In original Dragon Ball, the anime, or just Dragon Ball the manga, for the first part of the story, for a good bit of it, Goku's a kid.
Yeah.
And
I know that much.
It became one of the most successful and popular mangas of all time. At that point, the mangaka decided, I want to grow him up. Everybody said that that's a fucking awful idea, bullshit idea. Why would you do this? We have a character that people love that we can put everywhere and market everywhere. You are risking throwing that all away to age a character up significantly. Mm-hmm. That decision led to one of, if not the best arcs in that entire series, and then grew to be a global phenomenon, and like it or not, it obviously has an impact on the world.
If you see Dragon Ball merch or Goku in general, I would say majority of the time you see the grown-up version of him as stickers on people's cars and things like that.
And I think that I don't see a lot of, or watch a lot of things that would do anything like that. And because of that, risky. Holy shit, Vinland Saga, you have my attention. Mm-hmm. I am so sold and captivated on this season.
I like watching things where you can tell there was a risk there. You were possibly polarizing you were possibly you were risking something. You were risking your audience. You were risking that group of people who were already your fan base is now going to feel like this was not made for them. When you're a creative, you're a writer, you're anything, you're kind of told to figure out who your audience is. Like, I went to school for art, and I was told in my classes to kind of think of who my audience was and remind myself of that when I create a piece. Who do I want to be viewing this, and how do I want them to be feeling? And you don't want to build up an audience to something and then there's that demand there that you continue to cater to them, and it's kind of risky to, maybe you're making good money for catering to this certain fan base you've already built, and then are they going to support you, or are you still going to find a new fan base that's going to support you for that new venture that you're doing?
Yeah.
You switch from from writing to doing some other type of media or medium, and those people that read your written works aren't necessarily going to transition over to whatever else you create.
Yeah.
And so it's incredibly risky.
At the same time, I think it's one of the most safe risks to take if the writer is confident and proficient, because it's not like you're changing genres. It's not like you're okay, first season of this show is action, next season is going to be a complete romance. It's not anything too drastic. It is I have a story I want to tell. I'm confident in it. And in my mind, it is the next logical step to improve this work. And I love it. I love seeing it.
So you had said a word that I'm going to bring up too, and that is the idea of how it can also be risky to add romance into a story where it previously wasn't really a theme. We had couples and we had love, mainly with Helga and Thor's, and we didn't get too much time on their romantic connection, but from whatever we did get, it seems like they had full support and love of each other. Like they were a unit and they were going to support each other and go forward with sneaking away from her family and from his duties and start a life together. And seemingly they were incredibly happy together. That's really most of what we got. And then other than that we got, it was more on this person is a slave to this person and a concubine. The kids are illegitimate to be heirs of whatever, the throne or the fortune or the land.
Yeah.
And that was the other kind, and that's not love. That's not love. And so this idea that we could possibly be getting real, actual romance in this story, even not a huge part of it, I wouldn't think, but definitely something that is happening in one of the characters' lives, because we're getting characters that are older teenagers to their 20s. Like, that is an obvious kind of change in their lives as people and as characters. In that same way that in this episode, we get the 17-year-old Omar, the son, and he is obviously interested in women here, and
he looks like he's going to be in the story for a long time this season. Like, right when I saw him on screen, I was like, okay, you have like a design about you and like an air about you that I could see progressing in a various amount of different ways.
I could see him having, this character Omar, having a significant relationship or impact on the Thorfinn and Einar dynamic, and possibly looking at them as, I could see them possibly giving him what he is kind of looking for in this world at the moment. Right now, he's stuck between wanting to be treated like he's special and then not wanting to be treated with the responsibilities of the fact that he is special in this situation, that he is the son of the owner of this vast farm and this wealth. But he also doesn't want to be taken advantage of or people to pretend that they like him. He doesn't want to be told he has to do something with his future, but he likes that he is safe and that he does not want for anything. So he's in this difficult place here, and he probably would end up appreciating having maybe more honest conversations, maybe help with people of mutual age to him figuring out what he wants out of his future while they're trying to kind of gain theirs back.
Yeah. I definitely would love to see him interact with Thorfinn. That being said, I can't imagine it would start out on the best of terms. This episode has again reinforced my my lack of confidence in what I think Thorfinn's going to be like going forward in terms of fighting. Like, it's hard for me to believe he'd just pick up a sword without a very good motive right now. You know?
We saw multiple occasions of moments where Thorfinn in the past would have 100% put a dagger through someone's hand. Like, we saw Einar grab him by the shirt, like got by the collar. We had the interaction with the retainers eating the food.
He stood up for Einar in front of them.
Stepping in between them in not an intimidating way that
but
we
a diffusing
would be
way.
used to. Yeah, we'd be used to him stepping there as like a threatening, like, if you want to mess with him, you're going through me. You better freaking back off. It wasn't that energy. It was like more of a, I'm so sorry about this guy without saying anything. Like, we apologize. Thank you for the food.
And my first instinct was like
you said.
Yeah, I was like, okay, is this because Thorfinn's been through the other side of it? And I'm like, no, it's fucking Thorfinn. It's like, he could handle himself. It's an active choice, right? And I'm interested to see how that fleshes itself out, especially after the conversation of both of them on the hay. Like, or I guess both of them, mainly Einar.
Yeah,
but
he was talking and Thorfinn wasn't listening, but then something was said that made him, I think, open his ears up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly interested to hear how Thorfinn views the Danes, because of what he knows of his father's feelings and also Askeladd's feelings. Both of his kind of father figures in a way, obviously Askeladd being a very weird version of that, and not obviously an amazing father, because he was using him for what we saw, but both of the people that kind of made him who he is and informed the character that is Thorfinn, did not like that the Danes were, as Einar says, like beasts in human clothing. They both had this feeling of seeing the Danes that way, and or seeing violence of war at the hands of men that would kind of disrespect the sanctity of human life, like in that way.
Yeah. One of the biggest takeaways this episode, I think, was from Omar about him wanting to join Prince Canute's army,
Mm-hmm.
and then referring to King Harold. So that kind of gives us like a little bit of an update at what's going on with the situation over there.
There's still obviously going to be some type of battle for the crown, which does not surprise either of us, I don't think.
The idea of I'm going to join Prince Canute's army, I wonder if Harold has the crown and is appointed Canute as like head of defense, or what?
Okay, so see it in terms of where they're located when
Yeah.
the king dies, we know that Harold is not there and is possibly back home in the like main throne. Canute's kind of just away from home. So it might be easier for Harold to announce that he's king to more people when he's possibly at the main throne or in the main kind of place that they live.
I wonder if there was ever like, okay,
He might have had more people in his camp too.
I hope we get to see it play out, because I could imagine it being, oh, Harold was just in the right place at the right time with the right amount of people. But in a similar sense, I can imagine it playing it out in like a battle, for one, that we could have seen without Askeladd or Thorfinn, and just having Thorkell at his side. Maybe it wasn't enough for Harold's army. Number two, I could imagine it being like, oh, do we really want Canute being king? The person whose two most trusted personnel had obviously killed his or one had killed his father, and the other attempted to murder Canute himself. Like, I could see it spun in that direction too.
Mm-hmm. Even though luckily from the show that Askeladd did, Canute was the one that handled him.
Yeah.
So that definitely, I would say, would have eased any of that possibility of like that being a major kind of red flag people had.
I think it did do that, but in a political sense, I could see an opponent like try to use that to like, you know, muddy the waters of, do I really want this person to be my king?
Well, because all you have to do is spin something and start rumors. We
Yeah.
see that with what Askeladd puts a curse upon the town, you know?
Yeah.
But I do believe that they are probably fighting. They are probably fighting for whoever will wear the crown officially. We know Canute had the crown. I don't know if Harold was like, give me that, and they like tug a war over it, but...
Did it sound like Omar like referred to them in opposition of each other?
Okay, so he had said he wants to join Canute's army, Prince Canute's army, to achieve greatness. Soon means soon. She's worried about him.
When does he bring up
He brings
Harold?
up Harold
again?
after Canute, I thought.
Yeah, like well after though.
No, but like in that same conversation with the girl in that room, he brings it up. Like he's in there, and I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's still in there speaking to her, swinging around the sword, talking about it. King Harold should be calling in
reinforcements soon. So that tells me that Harold and Canute are definitely on the same side, and that I think that Canute at the moment is probably just positioned as like a war general, or like the general of the army. So he might be kind of
biding his time until he can get rid of Harold.
I don't know. We have no idea what Canute's cabinet looks like without Askeladd.
And we don't know what, without King Swen, what Harold and Canute's
That's
relationship
very
actually
true.
is like. Because I know that Askeladd kind of betrayed his half-brothers, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the story with every single brother and half-brother and children of a leader. That doesn't have to be all of their stories. They could be on good terms with each other and want to be running the country together. And Harold, we've never met him.
Yep.
We don't even know if he's a good guy or not. So like, what's the only issue that we had with Harold was the fact that King Swen wanted to kill Canute so Harold would be on the throne. That gives us nothing of what Harold wants, his intentions, his morality, his motivations. We know nothing about him.
I'm excited to see it, hopefully.
Soon. Maybe.
Hopefully. One more question for you. Does this confirm that Thorfinn's a slave to you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Same boat.
It seems like we were definitely trying to figure out in our own way how he could be in this position from the personality that we knew him as.
Yeah.
As one that we could never actually imagine not fighting to their death even.
Yeah.
over something like this, but what happened to him at the end of season 1, we weren't sure exactly what effect it would have long lasting on him, but it seems to have had a very long lasting effect.
I wonder if anything's gonna ever be said from A&R to
About
Thorfinn
Leaf?
about Leaf. Yeah, I wonder if
I also
Thorfinn's
agree
just
with
a
that.
very common name. You know, like
Yeah, but he's small and blonde too. That's like ticking 3 boxes.
that's true.
How much evidence do you need to even just breach a subject with someone?
Oh yeah, your name's Thorfinn. Nice to meet you.
Hi
I
there,
actually heard
guy.
that name the other day.
Yeah, like that easy small talk on the way to cutting down a tree. Just bring it up.
Yep. All right, that's all I have you.
Just quick question: do you think it'll take them 3 years?
I think it'll take them a year and a half. I think that okay. At first I was very reluctant because I know what we were being told, but in the back of my mind I was like, oh my god, is this like an impossible task so these people could never free themselves? But it seems like it could be done.
Like you're trying to pail out like water out of the boat, but the water's still filling up the boat.
But they're also not just having to chop the trees down, right? It seems like Thorfinn's doing more work than just his own. He's building a boat. He's putting logs down the river.
And
so
doing
I don't know.
them exactly to the specifications of the owner the master, while also respecting the master's property, like the horse.
In the moment, for some reason, I have a feeling that there's just going to be a wrench thrown at the situation at some point, and it won't get to them being able to buy the freedom.
I really like the master dying, and then
Maybe,
Omar
or
having
like,
to take over, or someone else taking over that doesn't want to uphold their end of
or
that
like
bargain.
Canute ends up recruiting. They come to the farm. Omar's like really excited about it. They walk right past him and go to Thorfinn, and they're like, "Yo, we need you again," and like that starts something, you know.
Omar's like the kids that wanted to go with Thor's in season 1.
Facts, very true.
I wonder how they're doing.
Maybe we'll see them one day.
One day.
All right.
In Iceland. Good? Where's that?
Where is Iceland?
I don't know.
What is Iceland? Who is Iceland?
It's ice. It's a land.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.